Good evening, and welcome to the commemorative area of the Australian War Memorial for this special last post ceremony. My name is David Sutton. Shortly, a member of the Australian Defence Force who is currently deployed overseas will read tonight's story. We would like to acknowledge the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland who continue to watch the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every state advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depth of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Now, we will hear the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century.
Good evening. My name is Sebastian James Chi and I am currently serving with the Royal Australian Navy. Today we pay tribute to Private William Downie. Born in the town of Deniliquin in the Riverina region of southern New South Wales on 3rd December 1909, William Downie was the son of Thomas and Elizabeth Downie. Known as Bill, William Downie was a talented sportsman. Growing up near Bendigo in central Victoria, he played football for the Eaglehawk Club before being recruited by the Footscray Football Club in the Victorian Football League. Playing in the ruck, Downie played 54 games for Footscray before transferring to the St Kilda Football Club in 1933. After one season with the Saints, he moved to Deniliquin for a season before returning to Melbourne in 1934, where he joined the Northcote Football Club in the Victorian Football Association, where he played in Northcote's 1936 Premiership side that defeated Paran in the grand final. On the 20th of September 1940, at the age of 31, Downie enlisted in the 2nd Australian Imperial Force. As well as having served in the militia for 3 years with the Australian Army Service Corps, he had worked as a driver and mechanic for the Board of Works. Accordingly, he was posted to the 1st Australian Mobile School of Mechanics in Caulfield and commenced training. Downie was married to Margaret Maud Downie, and together the pair had 3 children, but Downie was not to meet his youngest daughter, being posted for overseas service on 19th of October 1940 before her birth. Embarking in Sydney, Downie arrived in Egypt in late November. He then moved to a large camp in Palestine where he joined the 7th Division Ammunition Subpark. During his time in the Middle East, he would also serve with the 1st Australian Corps Petrol Park. Following Japan's entry into the war in early December 1941, Downie's unit was ordered to return to Australia. They set off on the 1st of February 1942, but during the return journey were diverted to Java, arriving in Batavia 3 weeks later. There they joined other Australian units assembled on Java to form Black Force. But following the capitulation of Allied forces there on the 12th of March, Downie became a prisoner of the Japanese. Downie was imprisoned at the bicycle camp in Batavia until October 1942, when he left Java as part of a large work party bound for Burma. Arriving in Moulmein, the party joined a much larger workforce of prisoners employed by the Japanese to construct the Burma-Thailand Railway. Many of the prisoners working on the railway were malnourished and disease was rife. It was in Burma that Downie fell ill. Admitted to the prisoner of war patients receiving station in Apollon, he died of septicemia caused by tropical ulcers. He was 33 years old. Initially buried in the camp cemetery at Apollon, Downie was later interred at the British and Commonwealth War Cemetery at Thambaziat in Myanmar. His name is listed here on the Roll of Honour among almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving the Second World War. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private William Downie, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn them. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you for watching and wish you all a very good evening.